conscripts at the end of this month to Manila. This is the city's contribution to the country's goal to have 25,000 strong soldiers to be sent to AMIS or AMIs, or also known as Asia's Military Initiative Headquarters in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, for an intensive training in the AMI tradition. It can be remembered that after a referendum on April 6, 2021, with 87.63% of the Filipino electorate saying yes to joining AMI, it was decided that the Philippines should join the military alliance of Asian countries. AMI was officially created on May 8, 2021 as an alliance among Asian countries to protect themselves and their influences against Chinese newfound imperialism. It is noted that the 11 founding countries of AMI, to wit, US, Vietnam, Japan, Nepal, Bhutan, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Korea, and Laos, which always have territorial disputes with China, are now very strong in AMI. As numbers, the said military alliance was intensely placed in limelight when China commenced an invasion to Taiwan last September 21, 2021, an island China considered a breakaway province but has always maintained a thriving and independent government and a rich economy. Last May 8, 2020, the Philippine Navy arrested 4 Chinese Marines who patrolled the Casiglaan Island near South China Sea and considered part of the Philippine territory. The said island has been found to contain large reserves of gas. Mining it would certainly bolster the economy of the country as gas prices are skyrocketing, what with the recent invasion of Russia to Ukraine. The said Casiglaan Islet reserve contains more than what Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela reserves combined. The Philippines can no longer hold unresponsive after China claimed the Spratlys group of islands, still near the South China Sea, which is clearly within the Philippine territory. The UNCLOS, or the United Nations Convention on the Loss of the Seas, ruled that the Philippines owned the islands, the Spratlys group of islands. Still, China invaded the territory and has since marred diplomatic relations between these two countries, our country, the Philippines, and the China. And however, these two countries, the Philippines and China, maintain embassies in each other despite these territorial disputes. So, with the recent developments, the country, the Philippines, joined and is now a full member of AMI and will be afforded full privileges attached to a full membership. Again, Tagum City is keen to help the country keep up with its military commitment to the said alliance. I'm done. I'm now taking questions. Uy, pamutana, uy. Pamutana mo na. Yes.
Christine Magat po from Dirigma. How will the government ensure the safety of the country's conscripts in Malaysia while having intense training po in the AMI?
The AMI has its standards as well in China. And it is deemed safe. And so I believe with the Philippine government and the AMI government, our soldiers, our conscripts will be safe to undergo intensive training. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I'm Natasha Matulog from the Bicol. With the current territorial dispute with China, how will it affect our economy, considering that there's still war conflict in Ukraine?
You know what? Wars have the tendency to affect the economies of countries. For example, I'd like to cite it's not just a skirmish but a war. Now, Russia call it special military operation, but it's a total war with Ukraine. And if you know, if you see the news, I'm sure all of you have seen it. With the recent war, the economy of Russia plunged plunged down into 16%, while Ukraine's economy has downgraded below 46%. In short, it is a microcosm of what will happen to the world and the Philippines if war will continue with China and the Philippines. It will certainly affect. That is why we are joining the AMI, because we want to protect our influences and our economy as well. We want to do so that China will not invade the country, the Philippines, because it is allied to many countries. Doing so will be detrimental to China, not only detrimental to its population, but it will also be detrimental to China's economy as well. So yeah, AMI, us, the Filipinos, or the Philippines, joining AMI is very crucial to our defense and our economic security. Yes.
Good morning, sir. I'm Catherine Nguyen from Tagum City National High School. I would like to ask, sir, if joining an alliance is a double-edged sword. Although we have formed an alliance, or the AMIs, with other countries against China, there is no safeguard to our economy and our country's safety as well. As long as we join an alliance, we are in danger of the effects that the other countries or the other alliances will have. So I'm saying, sir, that joining an alliance like this, will it not bring more harm than good to us?
I believe that it will, not joining AMI will bring more harm. Why? We cannot win a war with China alone. But with the alliance, with other 11 member states, China will hesitate to invade the country. And you know what? If we are in a war, it will, devastate our economy. Let's look at Ukraine right now. It is devastated economically. Now, Filipinos, we are known to be brave. But you know what? It's not about fighting a war. It's not just about that. But when to fight a war. It's not that is why, again, it is important that we join now. And also, we had a referendum. It has 87.63% of the Filipino electorate supporting it. It's a majority, and we are a democracy, and we respect the people's decision. And yeah, yes.
If joining AMI ensures manpower and military support, does it also give us defenses over ranged attacks like nuclear attacks and missiles?
That's a good question. Now, I'd like to read the privileges of a full member. Right now, the Philippines is a full member of AMI. One of the privileges, the three major privileges are as follows. An attack to one member is an attack to all. For example, if you attack the Philippines, the other 11 members will attack China. Okay? Second, it will provide us with easy reinforcements within the alliance. It will provide a universal economic sanctions to invading country, which is China, and a full protection against invasion. And the third one is this. AMI will patrol a member territory. Also, it will set up military bases among choke points and strategic areas of invasion. Now, the question is, will it provide protection
For ranged attacks like
It will
missiles?
provide. It will provide. Yes. Because it's one of the goals. But again, it's not a panacea for a war. It's just this military alliance. It's not an offensive alliance. It's more of a defensive one. We are not going to be an aggressor. I mean, the AMI will not be an aggressor, but rather it will defend its last piece of land with all its might. So yeah, it will provide. Yes.
Good morning, sir. How will the dispute affect the Filipinos living in China?
Yeah, and that's very sad, right? And I think it's not only affecting Filipinos in China, but Chinese living in the Philippines. And Chinese who are currently residents of the Philippines and also citizens of the Philippines. Right now, we are still maintaining embassies in China, and China with the Philippines, So it's not a full-scale war yet. So we have a heated diplomatic war, but again, it has not yet escalated to a full war yet, and we hope it won't escalate to that point. Right now, we are providing many Filipinos a safe passage to the Philippines. If they want to go back to the Philippines, the government is providing an aid for them to come here in the Philippines. And also, I believe that China is prudent as well. They won't allow that the residents will be at harm here in the Philippines, and we, the Filipinos, won't allow our kababayans to be in a harm from China. So if a full-scale war would happen, we will provide a safe corridor for the civilians to come to and fro. Yeah.
Since China is one of the world's biggest producers and manufacturers, if we bear our thanks to China, what effects should it have to our economy, as we get most of our imports from China?
Oh yeah, and that's a good question, right? Because China is one of the world's producers. Right now, our government is aligning themselves economically with other countries such as India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Malaysia, other breadbaskets of the world, so that when a full-scale war would happen, we're not going to be dependent with China, and we will not starve as a country. And yeah, it's not just the produce, but also we are trying to protect the Casiglaan Island, because war would surely skyrocket oil prices. And as I've told you earlier, Casiglaan Island has a strong reserve of gas. So if we maintain the territorial integrity there, we can mine the gas, and the gas prices will stay stable. Will stabilize rather. Stay stable. Thanks.
Good morning, sir. Should collateral damage by the alliance against the Chinese civilians will be committed, will the alliance be tried for its damages against the Chinese people?
We do not know yet because we are not at war with China yet. But again, we are not wishing and prayer. We're not wishing and praying for it to happen. But if it happens, I hope it's not going to be World War III. I hope it's not going to escalate more tensions, because if it happens, I'm sure there's no winner in war. Philippines will never be a winner. China will never be a winner. No country will ever be the winner. And I'm sure if a war happened and if it ended, the Philippine government or the IMA shall exact reparations from China.
Thank you.
We have 8 questions, so paano lang? 8 na natin. Oy, 12 question rule running, ha? 12 questions reviewed. Wala na?
Sir,
Yes.
will you specify some negative effects that will be expected during the supposed war between the alliance and China? In joining this alliance,
War or
the alliance.
I think yes. There are negatives, but I guess the positives outweigh the negatives more. The negatives. I guess we are sending right now. We are arousing the anger of China. So basically, we expect to have not just the physical war, but a war of information. So that's negative. So we're going to expect a war of information, false news, that's it, and Chinese citizens being angry at Filipinos. These are the negatives, but the negative ones. But you know what? To tell you honestly, it is better that we join now, while we are still capable of doing it, right? So if you can mirror Ukraine and Ukraine-Russia war, remember that Ukraine wanted to join NATO, but it wasn't able to do so. And it received the brunt of the war. So it has no strong military protection. Although Russia is not doing it. But still, as you can see, Ukraine is currently ruined and devastated. Next.
Joining an alliance, sir, would entail that, as you said, attack one, attack all.
Yes.
If ever we engage into war, or another country of our alliance is engaged into war, we will certainly fight with them, correct?
Yes.
What would this entail, sir, and how ready are we if the possibility arises that this may happen?
We cannot measure right now. We cannot measure our readiness because the alliance is so new. It is created abruptly because we wanted to fight the newfound imperialism of China. But you know what? Any country, even China, it's not. There's no events that would ready a country into a war. But if we are to plunge into a war, I believe that the IMA is made up of countries like Indonesia, like India. India has a strong military tradition. It has a large military reserve. So I guess we have a fighting chance with China. Tayo na to, duha ka questions lang.
Wala naman po katana.
Isa pa.
Sir,
Yes.
how would you deal with the war refugees, sir, should China attack the Philippines? How would you deal with the Filipino refugees that were affected by the war, sir?
That's a potential domestic problem in the Philippines, I'm sure. But yeah, we are partnering with other IMA countries. Should there be a refugees problem, not just in the Philippines, but from other countries entering the country, the Philippines, or Filipinos exiting the country, it's part of the alliance that if a member country is devastated by a war, they are committed to receive refugees, and they will provide refugee status to our refugees. Until the country is stable, the refugees can freely work with the other AMI member states. Those countries, those members, which are not devastated by the war. Sana lang good. One more question before I end this press call. Yes.
In the latest news, we have known that our economy, like the Philippines index, is going down. How will it affect our relationship with other countries in the IMA? Will we kanang makakawa pa sa remote organization, or will it improve or improve our status like in the other countries?
Alright, I'd like to remind that this is not an economic alliance. This is a military alliance. And the AMI do not discriminate against their member states who are, who are not having a good status with their economies. However, I think it won't matter as much to the members, but I believe it would matter to other countries we are allied with economically. So again, there are many consequences to the war. But if we won't prevent the war now by joining AMI, it shall surely devastate our economy. One, China will own our Casiglaan Island, which has a large reserve of natural gas. If we protect that, it will bolster our economy again. So again and again, partnering with AMI, being a member of it, is the best decision that we can have. I think that ends our press call. Thank you. Ana.